If you have that real hot vehicle that you just don't want damaged, you want to get from A to B, a lot of this is going to depend on what kind of vehicle you have to be towed. Sometimes they just want to tow that special car that they're not going to drive on the street. They're just going to take it to a location, or it's strictly to get to their campground. Hey everyone, Izzy and MJ from Endless RVing. We're out camping. If you own a motorhome or some kind of motorized RV, more than likely you're going to be towing a vehicle. So there's several different ways of towing a vehicle. In this video, we're going to tell you the different methods of towing a vehicle and then what we've chosen.
And you're definitely going to want to hang out to the end. We're going to tell you the price. You don't have to spend a ton of money to get a great towing system.
So just a little disclaimer, we're at Poconos Raceway, so you might hear some cars zooming around. Sorry. So the first common way you can tow a car is going to be a tow dolly. Tow dolly, essentially, you put two wheels on the dolly. Dolly goes hooked behind your RV. Now, there's only certain vehicles that can be towed on a tow dolly. It's relatively inexpensive. You could pick up a dolly, used. They're up to 2,500 bucks. They have electronic brakes built in them, which will work with your tow brake system on your RV. The downside of them is that, again, only certain vehicles can be tow dollied, towed, and also it's kind of a PIA to set up, right? It takes a little bit of time. You're still wearing on some of your tires, and a lot of people that have tow dollies, they wind up ditching them and going for one of the other methods we're going to talk about. Now, the second method that you can tow your vehicle is going to be on a trailer. Now, we used to do this for good reason. A trailer, you can tow any type of vehicle, right? So if you have an electric car, you can't flat tow electric cars, you can't tow dolly electric cars, you have to trailer them. The other good thing is that it's going to protect your vehicle from the wear and tear of either flat towing or dolly towing. Dolly towing, because you're not wearing on your tires. As far as like debris, stuff hitting it, not a big deal. If you have an enclosed trailer, you can carry toolboxes with you, multiple vehicles, and it's completely enclosed. So if you have that real hot vehicle that you just don't want damaged, you want to get from A to B, trailer setup is definitely going to be great. Now, what are some of the downsides of having a trailer setup? Number one's the price. They're very expensive. You're talking probably a minimum of $2,000, well up into the tens of thousands of dollars, depending how big and elaborate you get your trailer setup. But another good thing about them is that you have electronic braking. Some of them have climate control. Like I said, they have additional storage. It's a big choice for, like I said, we're at the raceway. You'll see a lot of trailers here because people sometimes they just want to tow that special car that they're not going to drive on the street. They're just going to take it to a location, or it's strictly to get to their campground.
You just have to be aware of your weight.
Yeah, that's another big thing. They can be heavy, so you have to have the appropriate motorhome RV to tow it. Like this right here, we're limited to 5,000 pounds. So for us getting an enclosed trailer, not realistic. We'd have to get a lightweight open trailer, which we do have and we used to use. But get a big Super C. Get one like if you look over there, that Dutch Star over there, that can tow 15,000 pounds. It's not that big of an issue. Something you might want to consider is a trailer. Before we go into the final tow method, the most popular, really the easiest, the quickest, a lot of this is going to depend on what kind of vehicle you have to be towed. Like I said earlier in the video, certain vehicles, they have to be trailer towed. Certain vehicles cannot be flat towed, they cannot be dolly towed. We're going to put a resource down below. You can click on it in the description of the video. It's going to tell you what vehicles are flat towable. Now, the bad thing is that as vehicles become newer, less and less of them are flat towable. So like I said, all electric vehicles, you can't flat tow them. Anything with a CVT transmission can't flat tow. A lot of automatic vehicles you can't flat tow, and a lot of newer vehicles. But there are still some out there. We have one, but our vehicle's not that new, and actually our Ram is flat towable. So let's get into the next one, and the most common, which is going to be flat towing. So here's our flat towable vehicle. We have two, right? We have the Ram that I have, but that's 5,300 pounds. It's gonna be above the weight limit for Nelly, who's at 5,000 pounds. But I got this little puppy here, 2000 Mustang, got her cheap with like 42,000 miles, and she's got like 69, and she's still running strong. Weighs about 3,000 pounds, so well under where we are at for Nelly. And also you can see it put a little bike hitch on the back so we can carry our bikes with us. So flat towable. Now, Mustangs apparently are not flat towable, but if you have a manual transmission from this year, 2000 through 2004, I believe all the way down to 98. These are flat towable. Not officially, but they are. We've been flat towing this for, I don't know, a couple thousand miles at this point. No issue. Again, look at it on your own, do your own research. Don't take us. We're not experts. But here's our setup, super easy. Let's just go on the inside, show you how to set it up on the inside. Very simple. We have our lights hooked up. If you look over here, there's a switch. You got a switch right over here. And if I pull it toward me, it's the lights are gonna work on the Mustang. If I push it toward the motorhome, whatever the lights on the motorhome do will be reflected and mirrored on the Mustang. Blinkers, brakes, so on and so on. Now, as far as the setup on the inside, very simple. Just keep her in neutral, right? Key in, one click. It doesn't have to be any lights on, just one click, and it works. And we're good to go. Now, what is a flat tow setup or 4 wheels down? Well, it's exactly what you see, right? 4 wheels are down, towing flat. So this is going to move, steer, do exactly what the tow vehicle, our motorhome, is going to do. Now, how this is accomplished is through a tow bar. And we're gonna get into what kind of tow bar we have. We actually did a full video in details about this tow bar, but why do people choose flat towing? It's pretty light as far, you hear that? Yeah. People are spinning out in the background. It's relatively light. Like, this weighs about 40 pounds versus our trailer, which we have at home, weighs approximately, I believe, 1,300 pounds. So
that was tough.
I mean,
listen, it worked for us, but
we still have the trailer, because maybe if I do get a Tesla, we want to take it somewhere, we got to put it on the trailer. Why is it so easy? So very simple. You have your tow bar over here. You have your base plate. Now, the base plate will be permanently mounted to the front of whatever vehicle you have. On here is the Mustang. And then the tow bar, which is this right here, goes connected via some clevises and pins, if you can see, to the base plate. You have some cabling, which we'll explain, and then it just pulls, right? This gets connected to your motorhome via the hitch. We have a drop hitch here, so everything's nice and level, and you just pull it along. It literally takes, what, 2 minutes to set up?
Quick.
And to break down, it's like 3 minutes. And then once this is all done, it just folds up nicely, and it stays on the motorhome. It's very light, it's super easy. So let's talk a little bit more in detail about our setup. So we have an NSA tow bar. You know, they changed out, this is rated for 8,000 pounds. This is the aluminum. They have up to 12,000 pound rating for the steel. These are now rated, I believe, at 6,000 pounds for the newer ones, but they still have the 12,000 pound steel one if you need. So like I said, the base plate is over here. Then you have these clevises. This is a Blue Ox base plate. The great thing about NSA tow bar is that you can change out the clevises and you can use whatever base plate works for you. So there's a couple different ones out there. We're not going to get into all of them, but it works with all of them. You have simple pins that go in. Another great thing about NSA tow bar is this ready brake system. Now, you do need supplemental braking when you're towing some kind of vehicle, whether that's electric braking, air braking, whatever. There's all different systems out there. That can be where it gets very expensive to set up a flat tow vehicle. There's certain braking systems out there, electronic ones. They are upwards of $1,500, $2,000 just for the braking system. This uses a simple mechanical surge brake. So as I brake, this comes back. It's connected to a cord. This cord is connected to my brake, and it will just pull the brake as it's needed. So remember I talked about this Blue Ox drop hitch. Basically, we needed this so everything is level, right? So you see this is a nice level plane. According to what setup, if we had our Ram, we probably wouldn't need this because the Ram's a lot higher. So let's start talking about the other things. Here is, like I said, the surge brake. This is the cable. This is a emergency breakaway cable. If for whatever reason this all fails, this is connected to the chassis a little further up. This will pull one way, lock up the brakes, and then I have to manually reset it. That way this thing, if it breaks away, doesn't kind of like keep going down the highway. You also have your electronics cable here. This is going to go from 7-pin to 4-pin. It's going to tell us, remember I told you earlier, the brakes go on the motorhome. They will go on the tow vehicle. This is what's controlling that. And then you have your emergency cables here. These are essentially, if for whatever reason this breaks away, you have some breakaway cables, and they are connected to the hitch here. So you have some redundancy as far as safety. You have your cables, you have your emergency braking, and then you have the multiple pins here. We've had no problems with this, guys. It's worked out really well for us. We have thousands of miles on it, and now we're going on 1.5 years. There is almost no maintenance on this. You're talking about just spraying a little bit of lube once a year, and it's good to go. Now let's talk about the cost. Remember I said some of these tow setups can be very expensive. Traditionally, the tow bars are sold separately from the braking system. There are other competitive brands out there. I've read anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000 installed for the tow bar as well as the braking system. And those braking systems, you have to kind of put them in and out as you're going to use the vehicle. This, once it's set up, it's set up. So what is going to be the cost of this one? If you get the 6,000 pound aluminum one, which is what we have, it used to be 8,000, it's rated at 6,000 now, $2,200, that includes everything you need. The base plate, the appropriate clevises, any wiring, cabling, emergency breakaway, it's all there. If you want the 12,000 pound, for some reason that one is cheaper, maybe steel's cheaper at this point, that's $2,000. It's going to be a little heavier, but it's more heavy duty. You're saving probably about 30 to 35% versus the competitors. Again, it's not fancy, but it works. And we like things that just
And it's easy for me to, I can easily set it up
super
too.
easy.
It's not super heavy, like it's just.
Yeah, MJ's done this on her own, basically.
It's very easy to maneuver, yeah.
So in the comments below, let us know what kind of tow setup do you have, or do you just follow or rent a car? Sometimes we just follow if it's real short.
Right.
We won't even go through it because we don't need to. But in the comments below, also we have, like I said, we have the full video setup. We'll link that above, and we do also have a bunch of other RV DIYs that we've done. We'll put that playlist to the left of us. And for myself and MJ, it's a journey of a lifetime, and we'll see you on the road.